Hello everybody, KB here, and I'm back with a new series. The series is going to be called College Football Overreactions. Now I might do it for the NFL, but I'm thinking about just sticking it with college, because for the NFL I'm going to be doing predictions video weekly, and for college that doesn't really work that well because there's so many teams. So this is going to be a new series. I'm going to do weekly until like January. That's when the college football season ends. So until then, it's going to be a weekly show. So let's get into it. For the first game I'm going to talk about, it's going to be Georgia and Clemson, played at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Okay. Georgia completely dismantled Clemson. Cade Klubnik, I had high hopes for him. I thought Clemson was going to make the playoffs, all that, but they looked absolutely terrible and inferior to the Georgia Bulldogs. So Georgia is the clear number one team in the nation in my eyes after this performance. It's just simple. They were one of the very few top teams to play actual good competition. They beat them by 31 points. Like, can't beat that. Georgia's the number one team in the nation right now. It's very clear. And then for my second one, Clemson, the powerhouse title, the powerhouse label that they've been put onto them, it's slipping. They haven't made the playoffs since 2020, since Trevor Lawrence left. They've been basically they've been mid. They've been either 10 wins or 11 wins, but it hasn't been that impressive. Their best season was 2021 when they got 11 wins, I think. But that shit, it doesn't move the needle for me. Their label is slipping. I don't think they're going to get that many recruits now. I think Dabo should retire. It's just, it's bad in the Clemson program. Next game, it'll be Ohio State and Akron. Ohio State is overhyped, in my opinion. Now, they're still probably a top 4 team in the nation, but I said personally that there's a chance that they could have the best team in the college football playoff era. I'm thinking about taking that back because they were up very, very little in the first half. I think it was like 17-6 or something like that. I don't want to check, but I think it was like 17-6 after the first half against Akron. There's no reason you should be that close with Akron when you spend like $20 million on NIL to get the best players in the country. You're disappointing. Will Howard, step it up, please. But yeah, Jeremiah Smith, he's next up. The wide receiver, the freshman wide receiver, 5-star, former 5-star. I don't know where he came from, but he's a dog. He is next up, man. I'm telling you, he's next up. He had 2 touchdowns, 92 yards, and I get it. It's against Akron, but I do not care. The way, oh my God, he just snagged it. He snagged it. That's not fair. What are we doing? That's not fair. This guy needs a PED test. Drug test him. There we go. Yeah. You got, like, ever since, like, say, like, 2020, 2019, they've had Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, who was another one? I forget. There was, Marvin Harrison Jr., Jackson Smith and Jigba. Oh my. Now they got Jeremiah Smith. That's not fair. That's not fair. For my next game, it's Oregon and Idaho. I am very disappointed with Oregon, but I would like to say that I called it. I knew from the beginning that Oregon was overhyped. They were up 17-14 against Idaho, who was an FCS team and not even a good FCS team at that. They were up 17-14 against Idaho, but then they scored a touchdown to make it 24-14. That's very embarrassing. I said it in my college football playoff predictions that Bo Nix is a better quarterback than Dillon Gabriel. He can do more on the field. He's more accurate. He's just better overall. And Dillon Gabriel didn't play bad. He was efficient with the ball. It's just, you're playing Idaho, man. Come on, man. Do better. Do better. You're playing an FCS team. You're a powerhouse. That's embarrassing. Not really have much to say. I mean, Ted Johnson played good, whatever, I guess. For my next game, I have Ole Miss and Furman, and I know they played Furman, but Jackson Dart, he might just win the Heisman. Jackson Dart might just win the Heisman. He had 418 yards and 6 touchdowns at the first half. After the first half, he had those numbers. And I get it, it's against Furman. It's against Furman. Whatever. I don't care. Jackson Dart for Heisman. Ole Miss for the national championship. I'm telling you right now, man. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna happen. I'm looking like a prophet out here. Stop it. You gotta believe. And yes, they did beat him 76-0. And honestly, it was like 50-0 after the first half. I'm not coming back out onto the field after the first half. You gotta pull me onto the field because I am not going out there. My dignity is being tested. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna be less of a man if I go back out there. It's 50-0 after the first half. Come on, man. Ole Miss could have scored 100. That's embarrassing. If I was the Furman head coach, I would not only quit coaching football, but I would quit watching football. I would quit associating myself with football. It's just it gets me worked up even thinking about it. It's like you're less of a man now. Like it's public embarrassment. Come on, it could not be me. Sorry. For my next game, I have Notre Dame versus Texas A&M, and I got a few here. Notre Dame, and I said this in my playoff predictions video. They not only have the best secondary, and I feel like that's undisputed. They got multiple first rounders in the secondary, but they could likely have the best defense in college football when it's all said and done. Just the combination is it's lethal. It's lethal, man. And add on that Marcus Freeman is a defensive head coach. He's more of a defense first type of guys. It's the perfect recipe for one of the best defenses in the nation, if not the best. And my next one, Notre Dame, their schedule is looking out to go. It's shaping out to be good for them. There's a good chance to go undefeated. Their next two biggest games are against Florida State, who is now 0-2, and almost definitely out of the rankings, and against USC. We got a big win against LSU, but are they really that good? I don't know. I mean, they're a good team, sure, but are they really that good to compete with Notre Dame? I don't know. Probably not. And then my third one, Connor Weigman, he's overhyped. Weigman, however you say his name, he's overhyped. I remember people, after he got injured last season, they were saying he's going to be next up. He's going to win the Heisman in 2024. He's going to be a first-round draft pick. He might be a top 10 draft pick. I didn't really watch much of Connor last year. At Texas A&M, he only played 4 games, but the way he was playing, he threw, I think, 2 interceptions. That is not a first-round draft pick, and I know you're playing against Notre Dame secondary. I get it, but like the passes he was throwing were kind of they were bad. He completely airmailed one of them. So I think it was number 8 on Notre Dame. I forget his name. But yeah, he's overhyped. My next game is Penn State versus West Virginia. And to me, at least, Drew Aller has drastically improved. The way he was throwing the ball, he was being safe with the ball. And West Virginia is a good team. They were playing on the road at West Virginia, one of the toughest stadiums, one of the wildest crowds, and they handily beat them 35-12. This game did have a 2-hour delay, which is insane to think about. But yeah, Drew Aller, he didn't throw the ball that much, but he was very efficient. Got a couple touchdowns, got a decent amount of yards with the limited amount of throws that he had. So now that's the way he was playing last year. But against Michigan and Ohio State, it was a dud. So we'll see what happens when he faces the good teams, like the elite teams. But as of right now, I'm thinking that he's drastically improved. My next game is Michigan versus Fresno State, and Michigan's offense is disgusting, and I don't mean it in a good way. I don't mean it in a good way. Their offense is hard to watch. It reminds me of Iowa's offense, where they just had no quarterback, and it's just like ground and pound and defense. Now, I'm not saying they'll be as bad as Iowa's offense, but it's getting close. There's a problem with the QB room. To be honest, just give me 2 years to practice QB, and I'm starting in that QB room. I am literally better than all of them. If you gave me 2 years, not even like 5, 2 years, and I'm better than Jack Tuttle, Jaden Denegal, Davis Warren, and Alex Orji. It's facts. Sorry. And Michigan, if they keep playing like this, where they struggled with Fresno State, they're gonna miss the playoffs. And I don't think that's a big surprise, because if you're struggling with Fresno State, who is like mid-level group of 5 team as of right now, it's not looking good for your season. Then they got to play Texas next week. It's not looking good. Okay. For my next game, I have Florida State, and I'm going to be talking about them. And they did play Georgia Tech and Boston College. They lost both games. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? First of all, ban Florida State from the rankings for the season. It's over. Second, ban them from the ACC. I know they were trying to get out anyways. Ban them to the Mountain West Conference. That's number 2. Ban Florida State from college football Division 1. Because let's be honest. Let's be honest here. You're not going to be losing when you're a 17-point favorite in the ACC as a quote-unquote powerhouse. Get out of here, man. Go to the FCS. Go to the FCS. And now that this one, I'm not going to say that because that's a bit too harsh. But okay, so DJ Uiagalelei, he's part Samoan. Okay, he's part Samoan. And Samoan people come from Hawaii, I think. So those tribal sacrifices. We should do that with DJ Uiagalelei. Sacrifice him into a volcano, man. Sacrifice him into a volcano, because this guy is disgusting. Now, I know this might sound harsh, but come on. I'd take UCF over Florida State. I'd take USF over Florida State. I'd take the Florida Gators over Florida State. I'd take FIU over Florida State. I'd take Miami over Florida State. FSU is a bottom feeder in the state of Florida, let alone the country. I'm disgusted, appalled. Any adjective I can think of, I'm feeling right now. My vocabulary is literally expanding because of the performance FSU is putting up as of right now. What are you doing, man? This is disgusting. For my next game, I have USC versus LSU. USC's defense might actually be good. And I know that sounds crazy, and it's been a hot topic ever, even before the Caleb Williams era, that USC defense has held them back, and they've had explosive offenses, so explosive, but their defense has been atrocious. But this year, they played a physical SEC team that was bigger than them, probably better than them in the long run, and they won by 7 points. So that's good. USC might also be a contender in the Big Ten. Now, they got to go with the likes of Michigan, Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State. But, there's a chance. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen. These are overreactions, but there is a chance. There's definitely a chance. And for the 2 QBs, Miller Moss for USC and Garrett Nussmeier for LSU, I think they're both also slightly overhyped. It's just, I don't think they played as well as they could have, and they were praised as the next great things for USC and LSU respectively. And I don't think they showed up that well. Miller Moss played a bit better because he got a touchdown, I think. Well, I guess Garrett Nussmeier also got a touchdown, but yeah. For my next game, I have Tennessee versus Chattanooga. Nico Iamaleava, I think I said his name right. He is the future of college football. In the class of, I think it was 2023, he was the number 1 ranked QB in the nation. He might have been the number 1 ranked player in the nation. I'm not sure though. But I know he was definitely the number 1 ranked QB in the nation, ahead of Arch Manning, who is obviously the son, I think it is Eli Manning, the Manning family. And he is 6'6", I think it's like 215, 220. He's a sophomore, and wow. I watched some of his highlights against Chattanooga, and I know it's Chattanooga. I know it's Chattanooga. But at some point, you just gotta respect it that he did his thing. He did his thing. There's not really that much to go off of. It's just the intangibles, the physicals, the skill's obviously there. It's just if he wants it enough. If he wants it enough, there's no doubt in my mind he's gonna be great. So there's not really much else to say. For my next game, I'll talk about Kansas State versus UT Martin. Only thing I'm going to talk about is that Avery Johnson is overrated. He's just simply overrated. He did not play good against is this a FCS team? I don't know if it's FCS team. If it's not an FCS team, it's a bottom feeder FBS team. I think it's FBS, actually. He had an interception. He only completed like 60% of his passes. He had not that many yards against UT Martin. And I've always thought, he has 4.3 speed. He's freakishly athletic. But I always thought he was a bit overrated in the eyes of the media. And that's why I didn't really have Kansas State going that far. I had them going like 8-4 in my season predictions. Because I just don't believe in Avery Johnson. People are saying Avery Johnson made Will Howard, who's now the QB of Ohio State, transfer because that's how good Avery Johnson was. No, I just think Will Howard just wanted to be in a better situation with the most stacked roster in college football, Ohio State Buckeyes. I think that's what that was. So yeah, all in all, Avery Johnson just overrated, simply. Next game I'll talk about is Miami versus Florida. Miami, to me, after what happened with Clemson, what happened with Florida State, I think they are the clear best team in the ACC. I don't think that's up for debate. They handled a Florida team that was at home. Like, Miami had to go into the swamp full of probably 90,000 fans, just crazy Floridians who are just in love with football, and they dismantled them 41-17. And I saw a stat that's the most points Florida's let up in a season opener ever. 41 points. That's the most, which is insane. Cam Ward, he's great. He also might win the Heisman. And Florida, they're the same old team. They're just the same old team. I do have something to say about that, though. I think his name is Graham Hurts or something. I don't know, but he is the starting quarterback for Florida. But there's this freshman. I think it's Lagway. I think he should be starting. Just give him a chance, man. Just give the kid a chance. Just give the kid a chance, please. Please, just give the kid a chance. The quarterback ain't doing it. Give the freshman 5-star a chance. Do it. I dare you. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I should realistically be a manager for a college football team, even an NFL team. To be honest, I just got that mind, But I won't say too much. Because I don't want to be egotistical, because that's a bad trait, Anyways, for my next game, I will talk about Arizona and New Mexico. There's this receiver for Arizona, Tedaroa McMillan. He is the best wide receiver in the nation. It's up for debate with Missouri's Luther Burden III. But this guy had one of the most dominant season openers, not only in Arizona history, but in college football history. He had 304 yards and 4 touchdowns. And it could have been 5, but he got stopped at the 1-yard line. That is dominance at a whole nother level. He most definitely will be a NFL first rounder, even just after that game, honestly. And I get it's against New Mexico. First of all, New Mexico isn't even that bad. They're they're not good in the grand scheme of things, but they're not that bad. Okay, calm down with the New Mexico slander, please. That's my hometown too, home state. You didn't know that. But Arizona did let up 39 points, and they did score 61, so it didn't really matter. Letting up 39 points against New Mexico, and I just said that New Mexico was a good team, but like they're not that good to be letting up 39 points. Come on now, do better, please. You're a top 25 team, a Power 4 team, one of the favorites in the Big 12. You're not supposed to be letting up 39 points against New Mexico, dude. Stop it. No, please, no. For my next game, I have Iowa and Illinois State, and I just have one thing to say about Iowa's offense. They might not be the worst offense in the country anymore. I know that sounds crazy. Iowa's averaging like 15 points a game, but somehow still winning 10 games this season. But they scored 40 points against Illinois State, and people say, yeah, it's Illinois State. I don't care. Old Iowa, last year's Iowa, would have scored 12 points against Illinois State. I'm not even kidding. 4 field goals and elite defense. The score would have ended 12-0. Now it's 40-0. If Iowa can even score like 30 points a game and you already know their defense is going to be top 5. If they can even score 30 points a game, I know this might sound crazy. They might make the playoffs. That's crazy, I know. But they might make the playoffs. I could see them going 11-1. Come on, I could see that happening. I could definitely see that happening. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. Iowa's offense. Now I know I didn't watch the game, but I saw the box score. They scored 40 points. It's the most they've had in like years. So that's impressive. Okay, well that is it for this first episode of College Football Overreactions. I'm excited for this new series. I think it'll be fun. It'll show my personality a little bit more instead of reading off a script. And I think it'll be fun for the next 4 or 5 months. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.